There are already probably a bunch of unboxing videos online, so I'm just going to add mine as I usually do. But first, I would just like to talk about just a couple of things really quickly, things that I've noticed that Apple has learned since last year. This, as you can see, was the box that I had exactly a year ago when I got my iPhone 6 Plus. And I was extremely happy about the phone simply because the larger screen made all the difference in having this thing. With an iPhone 6 Plus, I don't need an iPad, I don't need an iPad mini. And the beautiful thing about it is, with an iPhone 6 Plus, I have all of the things I would normally have on an iPad right in my pocket, and I don't even need bigger pockets to have it, such as if I had an iPad mini. It's funny when you see people with iPad minis and they're at functions and they're recording with iPad minis and you're like, what are you kidding? Why are you holding up something that big? I think it's socially acceptable to have a phone, but not socially acceptable to have something that size of a tablet. So, as you can see, the new iPhone 6 Plus 128 gigabyte, as you can see, came with a picture on the front, I guess in order to differentiate it from the old one. And the only downside is they don't have a blue color yet, but they'll probably have one next year. Either it'll be blue or something else, maybe even green. But the only way anybody knows that you have a new iPhone, especially through a see-through case like the one that I have, is if you get the rose gold color. Last year it was the gold color, but then again, the thing was so big, everybody could notice it right away. You know, and there are some people, I'm not really one of them, I buy these things for the camera, but there are some people who want people to see that they've got these phones, you know, while they're on a train and this, that, and other. Other than that, I've noticed Apple learned two things. Number one, after you watched my video where I was mobbed in a sea of Chinese people who bum rushed the line while we were waiting outside last year, Apple forced everybody to get reservations. Reservations were done in the morning, like a week ago. If you didn't have a reservation, you weren't getting anything. And that's how they eliminated scalpers. Another thing they're doing is now they're offering contracts on these phones where you have to pay a monthly fee in order to buy the phone. And what you're doing is, if the phone is $1,000, you're paying $500 divided into like a year's worth of time. And at the end of that, you can upgrade. Because apparently Apple is not happy with what AT&T and Verizon are doing to their customers. Not only that, in this market, when you've got people paying $100, $150, $200 a month for a damn cell phone bill, it's obvious that a lot of these people can't really afford that, but they're trying to keep up with the Joneses, and they're trying to afford these things for their kids who really shouldn't have any of this stuff. When I was a kid and I was in high school, my mom told me the only people who have a beeper is a doctor or a drug dealer. I didn't get my first cell phone until I started working and I bought my first cell phone, which was a Motorola Talkabout, and it was one of those prepaid phones. Now, you see kids on the street, you see kids going to school with phones like this, and I think to myself, what if somebody bigger than them tried to steal one of these things from them? What would they do about it? What could they possibly do about it? I don't feel kids should have stuff like this, but you have some very irresponsible parents sitting on the welfare and they're buying their kids stuff like this. And I've seen them all colors. I see white parents as well as black parents, etc., running back and forth to stores when they get cracked screens. And I'm sitting there watching and I'm like, why are you wasting your money? But anyway, I'm going to stop with my diatribe. I know you want me to just shut up, and I know you want me to open this bad boy. So what I have right here is a nice little knife in order to affect the opening. And one thing about it is, you see how neatly I kept everything right here? When I sell phones back on eBay and these phones are unlocked, they fetch really high prices. Like right now, the phone that I'm holding is the iPhone 6 Plus that I bought last year, 128 gigabytes, and that phone sold for $700 because I kept everything in mint condition. The only thing I noticed was open was this headphone case because I tried to rewrap it, but other than that, I didn't even touch it. So anyway, let me open the iPhone 6s Plus. Apple was one of the first companies that started the beauty of unwrapping your device. I mean, what good is it being a mindless American consumer if you can't savor the opening of your brand new $1,000 phone? A beautiful white box and a beautiful black face. White and black together again. It's like Martin Luther King always hoped. And that is the iPhone model. Strangely enough, they don't actually tell you that it's a 128. And I'm thinking that when they make the iPhone 7, I was hearing some comments that they said that they're trying to eliminate the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack. They're saying that Apple's trying to flatten it out. And usually when Apple targets some piece of a device like that, usually they're trying to get rid of it entirely. So if that's true, I think it's stupid because, oh, you know what? I also noticed there's a little, yeah, the Apple logo looks a little bit better. But I don't really think they should just get rid of the headphone, because the thing about it is a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack delivers not only sound, but it also delivers power, and it also delivers audio controls if you have a remote. It kind of doesn't make sense to me to change it, because it's one of those devices that really doesn't change over the years. Like, even new televisions still have RCA jacks in most cases, simply because there's a lot of people with legacy equipment who want to be able to plug that stuff up. And I really don't think that going to all Bluetooth would be a good idea, because the problem is Bluetooth headphones still require you to charge them, and that's ultimately the problem. So let's hit the sleep wake button and fire this bad boy up. As you know, lithium-ion batteries usually come pre-charged in order to ensure that they don't start losing their ability to charge. You're never supposed to let lithium-ion batteries go all the way down. You're supposed to keep at least 2 or 1% charge in them. So this is it. This is my new 4K video recorder. So, hello. Okay. Setup is straightforward. All of these devices pretty much, you know, it's all straightforward. They want you to get through it as easily as possible. So let me set this network up. People understand that the iPhone 6 Plus's battery has been absolutely fantastic. While the iPhone 5 and 5S could usually just get you through your day, the iPhone 6 Plus can get you through more than your day, especially if you're not really using it and you're only using it as a phone. If you're using the internet, the power management on these phones has been fantastic. And the power management of this phone has basically, it's so good until you can get multiple days of standby out of these phones. And that's a pretty damn good thing, especially considering its size. It's so big. Uh-oh, I don't want you to see my passcode. Hold on. Can't see my passcode. Okay, apps and data. Do you want to restore from iCloud? Absolutely, why not? Restore from iCloud. Yes, and then you just enter your information and it'll start down. I've seen so many of my friends who've lost their Galaxy phones, and the problem is there's a large chunk of data that they always lose, because most of them don't, I mean, you're dealing with older people and such, and they don't understand how they're supposed to back up all this stuff, especially if they have stuff backed up on a memory card within the phone. See, ultimately the problem is Apple has always used the NAND flash with the iPhone and the iPod, and their flash memory is secure and it's reliable. I have heard, you know, every now and then, because these devices are made in China, every now and then something's going to break down. But Apple's return rates are actually relatively low. Most of the returns are because of people damaging their phones. But the thing about it is, the flash memory in these phones, and you know I've been a user since iPhone 1, because I've been making videos for years at this point, since 2007. iPhone is the best video recording device on the market. Samsung's phones may be able to say, oh, we're better because we have this many resolution megapixels and you don't. But the problem is, it's the overall that you're looking at. When I record a video and I am able to edit it right away in iMovie, and then take that iMovie video and right away upload it to YouTube. And the thing about it is, we're not talking about small videos. I'm doing multiple hours of video, like my Dubai trip, my Seychelles trip. I could have recorded entire whatever. I could have recorded time lapses of my flight on Emirates, but I didn't choose to do that. But the thing about it is, Samsung simply cannot. They can copy the features Apple has. They can go ahead of Apple, and they could, if you, oh, you got 8 megapixels, we'll put 100 megapixels, and they can beat you like that. But when it comes to overall use, when it comes to overall customer satisfaction, they are losing a lot of their buyers. Part of that is because the Galaxy 6 and the Galaxy Note, the newest Galaxy Note, they have embedded memory now, and they don't offer you the memory card, and they also have embedded batteries where you can't change it. They're non-usable, user replaceable. So ultimately what's happening is their phones are becoming exactly like iPhone. And as that continues to happen, well, basically, you know, a lot of the people who wanted their products don't want their products anymore. And they've been losing a lot of sales. Now, you may say, oh, well, you know, I have one, not me. But I'm talking about older people. And I'm talking about younger people. I'm talking about people who can't afford an iPhone right now, but eventually they can afford one, and they can afford those ridiculous plans. Because I'll be perfectly honest, a lot of you are getting ripped off. My iPhone cost me $80 a month. That's 450 minutes plus, unlimited data. A lot of you are getting ripped off $100 a month, $110 a month. And a lot of you, you know, your bills are ridiculous. Your bills look like my Fios bill. And I get every single channel on Fios, and it's $185 a month. And I see people with bills exceeding $200 for their phones, and I think that's insane. And then you're dealing with kids who break and lose their phones, and then you're paying even more. And I think that's ridiculous. But if that's how you choose to spend your money, the free market has spoken. If that's what you want to do, people vote with their feet and their dollar. If that's what you choose to do with your money, you spend your money on your kid's brand new iPhone 6s Plus, and I'll spend my money in Dubai. It's up to you. So, you know, right now it looks like it's off, but it's not actually off. It's actually sleeping. In fact, what I could do is, while it is still downloading the new information, well, I didn't even enter the full. While it is still downloading the new information, what I can do is, oh wait, it won't even allow me to do it. Okay, I guess I can't continue until after it finishes downloading, but that should only be a couple of minutes. It says that it's on T-Mobile, but this is an unlocked phone. The SIM card works on T-Mobile, or it's any network. So basically all you do is pull the card out and you put your card in and it works. The way I see it is, from now on, I'm only going to buy unlocked phones. And I've already done this with this one, with the last one that I'm holding anyway. But I'm only going to buy unlocked phones simply because it makes it easier to sell them on eBay and recoup my losses. So this way I pretty much upgrade for free. So from now on, I'm not going to buy AT&T's phones anymore. I'll keep the SIM card, I'll keep the plan, but I'm not going to buy their phones anymore. Hopefully next year this time, when Apple updates this phone, they'll flatten the camera out so that this way the phone doesn't sit on its camera when you lay it down, you know, flat. Because I know they want to make these things thinner, but I really don't see the point at this point of making it thinner. I would like it to be thicker with a bigger battery. You know, battery life means a lot to me. And the funny thing about it is these phones are very camera intensive with the CPU. If you're using the camera, if you're video recording, basically what will happen is the battery will run out quicker when you're using the camera or the camcorder. It runs out a lot faster. And when I say a lot faster, I mean you can lose like 5% of your battery charge in less than 10 minutes, and I consider that a lot. So as you can see, the wireless AC, wireless in networking system is actually pretty fast. But the major improvement on this phone is the touch screen, which now senses touch just like my Apple Watch. And other than that, the major improvement is the fact it has more RAM, so it'll work slightly better when you're multitasking. The thing about it is this new iOS 9, unless you have an iPad or iPad Pro, you won't really get the benefit of the split screen. And the reason, you know, the Samsung, they can give you split screens right now, but the problem is those things run so much memory and so much CPU strength that what ends up happening is a lot of times I've used that and it's crashed. Like, I like the fact the Samsung Galaxy offers a lot of stuff the iPhone doesn't, but my problem is I prefer stability over features. I prefer strong refinement over features. And that's just how I buy. If the Galaxy was better than this, then I wouldn't have this. I would have that. So you can set up Siri so that Siri will work. I will say I don't feel like doing the Siri thing. I really don't use Siri much at all, so I won't do that. I'll turn on Siri later. Okay, so okay, welcome to iPhone. So one of the first things you got to do is you got to enter your thumbprint, so that this way you can easily unlock your phone while you're doing whatever by just simply touching it. And this, again, you know, Android, Samsung's phones, they tried to make a new one where basically you would just, okay, there goes one fingerprint, and I got to add the other ones. But Samsung tried to make it so you could just rub your finger there, and it turned out that that one didn't work as well as you just touching it and holding it for a split second and letting it scan you. So once again, you know, they tried to copy and they just fucked it all up. Sorry. So this is it. Everything that I had on my old phone is now from my right hand into my left hand. Don't mind this little bastard right here. This is my old iPhone 4S 64 gigabyte. But let me tell you something. This really came in handy while I was in Seychelles, because what happened was I needed a phone to use on their Seychelles Airtel wireless or whatever they had. And this thing right here saved my life right here. This is a fantastic device just to keep around. Whenever you go to another country, you should always bring two phones, and you should always make sure that you link up to their network. And when you link up to their network, you should also make sure that you have access to Google Maps, so that this way you have quick, easy access wherever you are. So here we go. Now, what you wouldn't notice is that this screen is now much improved. This screen is now a screen where you touch it and you could push it, and when you push it, you push into stuff now. So how does that look? Well, it's still uploading a couple of things, but how does that look, I wonder? What could I test that on? Let's see. Oh yeah, you feel a little bit of a bump when you push and hold something. Now if you push and hold, yeah, you feel a little bit of a rattle in the bottom here. It's kind of, now the watch has a really great notification system where you just feel it go ding, and it quietly taps you, and I really like that. That's actually pretty good. Is there anything else added here, I wonder? I don't see anything about the screen here, so I guess it's just something that's app intensive, it's app sensitive. Now they also said that you could you know, you could take live photos. So here I got some selfies, panoramas, screenshots, recently deleted things. Oh yeah, I got a great photo right here of Don Trump. I don't know if you've seen this one. This is great. William Shatner on the airplane, Donald Trump here. Now, if you push that and hold it, nothing happens. So I guess the push and hold, or the that gesture, I guess you have to do that when you actually take a picture, you know, using this phone and everything. So in fact, let's take a look at some of those, what's it called, those photo options. So it says photos and camera. It says, do you want to upload your entire library? Well, you could do that, but that takes a long time. It says, how do you want to record your video? Now, do you want to do it at 4K, 30 frames per second, or 1080p 60 frames per second? And it says a minute of video will be approximately 200 megabytes at 1080p, but it'll be 375 megabytes at 4K. Now, that's actually worth considering, because one of the problems is, as these phones get more and more sophisticated cameras, problem is the storage doesn't keep up. This phone really needs to have no less than 256 gigabytes. Obviously, that'll come next year with the iPhone 7. But if the iPhone 7 does offer 256 gigabytes, Apple needs to eliminate the 16 gigabyte iPhone, and they need to make the base model of 32.
And in addition to making the base model a 32, they need to make it so that it'll be 256 optional and 512 optional. Now, granted, every single year, technology gets considerably better and storage gets cheaper. But me personally, for the video stuff that I do, I'm going to need 256 gigabytes. I think no less than 256, because the problem is the photos have increased in size so much. You know, when you're sharing photos on Facebook, you don't really need 4K and you don't need 12 megapixels and all that. The problem really comes when you're just taking a lot of pictures and then all of a sudden you realize your thing filled up because you had a 16 gigabyte. The 16 gigabyte shouldn't be sold at all, you know? And so far, so good. I'm happy the transition from one phone to the next went flawlessly, and everything is looking fantastic. You know, all I got to do is clean it up a little. But hey, that's Apple for you. And next year it'll be the iPhone 7, and I'll have it.